Hello and welcome. You're watching Canal Algérie and I'm your host, Karim Zachary. Coming up next in our news program. The President of the Republic, Supreme Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Minister of National Defense, Abdelmajid Tebboune, chairs on Sunday a Council of Ministers. An important Nigerian delegation representing the Tariqa Tijaniya is on the visit to the province of Lagwat, the capital of the Tijaniya Caliphate. Algerian companies successfully marked their presence in the Intra-African Trade Fair held in Durban in South Africa. Good evening. Those were today's headlines. First in our news, the President of the Republic, Supreme Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Minister of National Defense, Abdelmajid Tebboune, chairs on Sunday a Council of Ministers. It will be devoted to the examination and adoption of 2 draft laws pertaining to the justice sector, as well as presentations about projects to support youth employment, fission, telecommunication, and renewable energy sectors. Moving on, the Prime Minister, Minister of Finance, bin Abdurrahman, chaired on Saturday a government meeting during which several bills pertaining to critical sectors were examined. As regards the higher education sector, a draft bill was introduced to define the different modalities so as to cope with the latest national and international developments. This bill is to be examined during the upcoming Council of Ministers. As for the public works sector, the stress was put on the necessity to alleviate traffic congestion in major cities and their suburbs via the extension of highways within deadlines set by competent authorities. As far as the water resources sector is concerned, an executive decree was examined to supply the Sidi Khattab industrial zone in Ghilizan province with water. As for sports sector, it held pride of place during this meeting. To this effect, numerous instructions were given to speed up the preparations for the upcoming Mediterranean Games later for next summer in Iran. The Prime Minister instructed competent to help the athletes in their preparations for this major sporting event in line with the guidelines of the President of the Republic. The Health Minister presentation during the review the vaccine the different taken so far so as or to ensure success. The environment sector was also reviewed during the meeting, which centered on the progress so far in rehabilitating Wadi al-Haraj as part of the ongoing efforts meant to depollute it. And finally, 3 communications related to public transactions were presented, pertaining notably to National Election Authority, digital development, and the creation of an electronic website ahead of the upcoming meeting of the Higher Education Ministers. Moving on to a different matter, important Nigerian delegation representing the Tariqa Tijaniya is on a visit to the province of Lagwat, the capital of the Tijaniya Caliphate. This visit is meant to consolidate the already excellent relations existing between the 2 countries. The delegation, headed by Sheikh Tahar Othman Bouchi, has a rich program during its stay in Algeria, including several religious festivities to highlight the importance of Tijaniya in uniting its disciples throughout the world. It is worth recalling that Algeria has a key role in promoting this important religious order, thanks to a well-defined spiritual strategy worked out by the high political authorities of the country. Algerian companies successfully marked their presence in the Intra-African Trade Fair held in Durban, in South Africa, not only by the quality of their products, but also by the signing of several partnership contracts. More details with Manal Maafa.
In the city of Durban, South Africa, Algerian state-owned and private companies stood out by signing important partnership contracts during their presence at the Intra-African Trade Fair. Among these national companies, one belonging to the food industry, which signed a partnership agreement. We have signed 2 partnership agreements with companies from Ivory Coast. One is for the import of raw materials for our juice products. The other agreement is for sauces and vinegars export to the Ivorian market as of January 2022. For its part, the electric company GSB from Mostaganem province, Western Algeria, will build a factory for the production of electrical equipment in Nigeria. Our products are already available on the African market. We have already exported our products toward Western African countries such as in Mali, Burkina Faso, Senegal and Guinea. The event was marked by the presence of two Algerian leading state-owned groups, Consider and JICA, which operate in the construction and cement production. The goal of the participation of JICA in this intra-African event is to further expand both the company's markets and its client portfolio in the African continent. A fruitful event with promising partnership agreements that will certainly boost Algeria's economic development.
In the same context, it's worth noting that the official Algerian stand in this fair held in South Africa won the title of the Best Isle. According to the Commerce and Exports Promotion Minister, Algeria receives for the first time this honor medal among the 55 participating countries. Our destination now is to Janet province to tell you about organic farming. Farmers of Noor Farm transformed arid soils into fertile producing ones, with techniques using the least amount of water, yet ensuring a better yield. The harvest goes straight from farmers to consumers without middlemen. The details in what follow with our own Ines Killu.
The agricultural activities in Janet province have undergone a remarkable development in recent years, which suggest promising prospects for the region, as here in this private farm of 500 hectares, where everything or almost everything is cultivated. This lettuce is produced here in Janet province. We grow very good products. The land here in Janet province is generous. The experiments carried out in different agricultural sectors, in particular using modern water-saving techniques, they have paid off. I have already farmed elsewhere. The land in Janet is very good and gives us a good harvest. We have adopted organic farming. We do not use fertilizers or phytosanitary products. At the level of this farm, several experiments have been carried out. Boreholes and irrigation basins have been built to rationalize the use of water by adopting the drip system. Goat breeding has also been introduced. We irrigate everything drip. Our belly surfaces are irrigated by sprinkling. We are satisfied with the results, but we want to vary our activity. We also breed sheep, goats and cattle. A surplus in production allowed this farmer to set up a point of sale of its products directly from the ground to the consumer, and this at the level of the Ifrit district. We transport our products in the morning to sell them at the point of sale in Janet. We manage to satisfy 60% of the needs of households. An example of successful investment, the first of its kind in Janet province, and which could make this region of the country an agricultural pole par excellence.
To COVID updates now, 144 new confirmed cases of COVID-19 were announced, while 98 people recovered and were discharged from hospital. 3 deaths were also reported in the last 24 hours in Algeria, according to the Health Ministry. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken assured that Washington was very focused on supporting the efforts of the UN Personal Envoy for Western Sahara, that is Staffan de Mistura, and the UN process to achieve a lasting and dignified solution to this conflict. American NGO RFK Center expressed on its website its deep concern at reports of attack and human rights violations by the Moroccan occupier, in particular against human rights activists Sultana Khaya and Aminatou Haidar. RFK Center urges the Moroccan government to end Khaya's house arrest and to ensure that the authorities respect international standards relating to the freedom of movement, association and expression in the occupied Sahrawi territories. To sports now. The current champion CR Belouizdad defeated the visiting team of Olympic Medea with 2-1 as part of the 4th week of the National Football Championship. The current leader, US Biskra, was trounced by USM Algiers with 3-0. The second Algiers team, Paradou AC, won the home side of NC Magra with 3-1. US Biskra and Paradou AC topped the stand-in with 9 points each, while NC Magra keeps struggling at the bottom with just 1 point. Let's delve now into the Deep South, more precisely to Touggourt province, to talk about traditional embroidery with its vibrant colors. A real pleasure for the eye. More details with Rania Al-Bahri.
Traditional embroidery of the Touggourti women is a knowledge transmitted from generation to generation. Patterns, designs and colors are a real pleasure for the eye. The Touggourti craftswomen bring a touch of modernity to their works to bring them to the taste of today and preserve this ancestral heritage. In the past, the Touggourti women get together around their embroidery work where they spend their time doing beautiful creations. Today, we have modernized the task and each pattern has a name. We hope that the craft house will be rehabilitated and remains open to welcome the new craftswomen. This artisanal embroidery is manual. It's an ancestral heritage that let us reflect the great skill of the women of the region, their daily life, which is expressed through their works. Today, this art has been able to go beyond the Algerian borders to make itself known internationally. We inherited this work from our mothers and grandmothers. We pass it on from generation to generation. We have taken it out of gloom since we participated in foreign exhibitions. We want to do more promotion to our crafts to conquer other foreign markets that will encourage the youngest to make their trades. The Touggourti women set themselves up as the true guardians of tradition and continue to make different patterns, each one beautiful than the other. The work of these women is highlighted each year at a fair held to their honor.
Well, that's the end of our news. Thank you so much for watching and good night.